Hi guys, Phil here again, and today, we're going to learn about how to move your blues patterns over to different keys. So maybe you've learned some cool blues patterns like the ones in this video, for example, in the key of A. Maybe you got all that down, and then all of a sudden you found a song, or maybe you were jamming with friends and they said, hey, we're doing a blues in G, or blues in C, or blues in B flat. And you wondered how on earth that works. Well, it's shockingly simple. Stick with me to the end of this video and you're going to understand this way better, and you're going to understand how to move your classic blues patterns over to whatever key you need. And then you can use that for the rest of your life. So in today's video, we're going to use one of my favorite simple little blues patterns. Let me show it to you in two different ways. One way involves open strings and one way doesn't. I have a whole video on this pattern as well, but we can just skim over it now and you can practice it while you listen to the rest of the information in this video. Let's do it in an A to start with, starting on the open 5th string. Get the hang of that first, and then when you're ready, try this quick pattern starting on a B. No more open strings, that's important. Okay, so let's talk about what it actually means to play in different keys. So in music, we have 12 different notes. And essentially, whatever song you want could start on any one of those notes. Let me show you a quick, easy example. What if we're playing Happy Birthday? You can start that on any note you want, and it's still the same song, like this. And so on. So any note you want can be your musical home base, and everything else is built around that sound or that note. Now, why do people pick certain keys? Well, sometimes it has to do with playing them on the guitar. Some keys, like the key of A, are really simple. Hopefully you watched that video I linked to earlier. I'll also put it in the description. The key of E is awesome on the guitar as well. You can take a look at another video that I made about that. And you'll also see the key of B flat, the key of G, and the key of C. They're just very common guitar keys. Some of them have to do with people's voices, some of them have to do with people's instruments, and some of them are just kind of random. This is where being a guitar player is amazing, because on the guitar, we can take a shape, like those shapes hopefully you've been practicing from the beginning of this video, and we can just drag them over left and right or up and down and change keys just like that. On other instruments, every single one of these keys is something you'd have to memorize individually, which is a ton of stuff to learn. Again, huge shortcut for guitar players, so it's very easy for us to play in different keys. We're going to learn how to do that today. So in our 12-bar blues, all we really have to do is put things in the right order. Now, I've talked about a blues in A and a blues in E briefly today. I've got those videos about that as well. But what if we have a blues that's based around a note that's not on an open string? Because those keys, the key of A and the key of E, are the two main keys that we're going to have based around the open string patterns. Super handy, really, really straightforward, but you're not always going to be in those two keys. So let's say we're going to do a blues in the key of G. Now this is where shapes on the guitar are really awesome. Take a look at this. So we're going to have three main notes or three main patterns. One is G. The other one is a C. And the third one is a D. Now think of that as a little shape on your guitar. You're going to be using this for an endless amount of songs for the rest of your life. That little shape. So instantly you have your three blues patterns in the key of G. Now all you have to do is know what order to put them in. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. And then you can move things around effortlessly to whatever key you want. So let's take that pattern that you might be practicing, the one that doesn't involve the open strings. On the guitar, whenever there's no open strings involved, you have a fully movable pattern that you can drag around. So what if I start that pattern on a G? There's your first pattern in the key of G. What if I start it on the C? And what if I started on the D? There's my three patterns. The exact same shape, exact same finger movements. We're just starting in different places. And you can now play in any key you want for the rest of your life with that pattern. All you have to know is where to start. Now, if you don't know how to find the notes on your guitar, I happen to have the world's easiest way of actually memorizing the whole guitar. It's shockingly easy. Check out this video, and you can memorize it in no time. So take a quick little look at this diagram of the chords or the patterns in the key of G, and pause the video, try and practice your way all the way through it using the pattern we just played. Super simple, but really important. Try it out. You can let me know how it goes in the comments, or you can just keep on going. And if you haven't already liked or subscribed or commented, it really, really helps me to grow this channel. I'm just getting started, but I've been teaching my whole life, and I want to help as many people as possible. So thank you. So I've got one more little mission for you that's going to help tie everything together. If you stuck around this long, thank you. It's totally worth it. So we are going to turn our three letters into numbers, or in theory, Roman numerals, because we tend to use that a lot as musicians. This is going to allow you to memorize your 12-bar blues as a whole, and then you can just plug it in whatever key you want. Doesn't matter even the name of the note. That just gives you a place to start. So, if we're in the key of G, for example, G is 1. Simple as that. G is our home base. Now C was our next letter, so G, A, B, C. C is 4. Simple as that. And then D was our third pattern, and D is 5. So 1, 4, and 5 are pretty much the three most important numbers you're going to keep seeing over and over again in music. Now we can turn our 12-bar blues pattern into 1s, 4s, and 5s. Now, if you do this enough, if you spend a little bit of time, you really, really should memorize this. You're going to keep seeing it over and over again. So once you have your 1s, 4s, and 5s memorized, all of a sudden you can start anywhere you want, on any note you want, and you know what order to put those three patterns in. So, for example, let's skim over the next, what I think are probably the next two most popular keys for the blues. We'll do the key of C. Let's start up here. 8th fret, 6th string. So there's C. Now, that's our 1 chord. What's our 4 chord? I'll give you a couple seconds. So, C, D, E, F. We know the note, and based on our shape, we also know the location, just like that. Even if you didn't know it was an F, there's your 4, right there. If F is 4, then G is 5. I'm in the beautiful city of Buenos Aires, Argentina right now, and excuse all the traffic noise. Hopefully you can't hear it too badly. Nothing I can do. Okay, so there's our 1, C, our 4, F, and our 5, G. So you can plug those into our little 1, 4, and 5 template if you want, or you can just think of them as 1, 4, and 5 and just make sure you're starting on C to give yourself the right home base. So that's if we have just normal notes, no sharps, no flats. Super simple, just count your way up and you're fine. But every once in a while, there's going to be some sharps or some flats involved. Now, this is where that little shape on the guitar really comes in handy, because otherwise we got to know a bunch more music theory that we just don't need to talk about right now. So a really common key for the blues is the key of B flat. Some people call that an A sharp, but B flat is much more common, so we're going to call it that today. That's fret number 6 on the 6th string. Now if we count our way up, B, C, D, E, and F. There's our letters, but let's double check based on our shape to see if there's any sharps or flats involved. This is what you should always do. So there's a B flat. Now, the 6th fret of the 5th string, well, there's our 4 chord, but that is not an E, it's an E flat. So our B flat is our 1, E flat is our 4, and if we go over 2 frets, we do get a regular F for our 5. So this is worth double checking, because if you just do the letters, you might miss out on a sharp or a flat in there. So guitars, shapes, shortcuts, it's all super handy. I hope this really helps. Try this out in whatever key you want. You can find backing tracks online in probably every key you can think of. Or if you have any favorite blues songs that are in certain keys, let me know. I'd love to hear specific examples in the comments. And thanks so much for joining me. I hope that really helps. You're going to be using this stuff pretty much forever. So have an amazing day, and I'll see you soon.